888-289-0666. They care about your things as much as you do, and they do it fast and right. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck, 352-289-0666. Visit twomeninatruck.com and get moving.
Two Men in a Truck.
Each morning, we wake up thankful to live in a free nation with liberty and justice for all. But sometimes those liberties can be put in jeopardy, and you may have questions about what to do or who to call. Let Doc Blanchard of Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland help you find the answers. Attorneys at law since 1974 and located in downtown Ocala. If you have legal issues, don't go it alone. Call 352-732-7218. Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland, helping protect your liberties every day.
Started in 1975. It's Yendel's Building Materials. Whether you're making repairs, adding a room, or building a house, Yendel's constantly delivers excellent service and top quality materials and many of the tools and hardware you need to get the job done. At Yendel's, they take pride in supplying their customers with new and innovative products. Yendel's experience in truss design, manufacturing, and component materials is second to none. 834 North Magnolia Avenue in Ocala, 732-3000. Stop by to experience the difference.
Howdy folks, RL here for Dairy Queen again to tell you about what's hot and what's not. Dairy Queen has some of the best char-grilled chicken breasts on earth, as well as their chicken breast salad. And the burgers are exceptional, cooked on a real grill for the best flavor and less fat. And for dessert, blizzards are unequaled. Personally, banana split is my all-time favorite. Dairy Queen Silver Springs, where we always treat you like kings and queens.
Now is the time. It's fall planting time, and your first stop should be Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens in Ocala. Check the ad, and you'll see 25 or 30 of the best deals in town popping right at you. Then check the tree sale. You'll buy one at Bob's low price and get a second one at half price. That deal is for every tree in stock. And by all means, come celebrate Camellia time, the same quality plants that have made Bob Wines famous for going on 70 years. Choose from thousands, some exotics and some dwarf size, and some true heirlooms with prices starting at a record low $15.99. Go inside the greenhouse for a whole bunch of great deals too, like statuary and fountains at 30% off, and pottery, buy one, get one at half price. It's now, it's today at Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens, daily till 4, Saturdays till 3, in the same blooming place since 1952.
You're having another great day and you have good taste tuning into WOCA The Source with Ocala Talks and Tom Schmitz. Well, 1 out of 2 isn't bad.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks. On a Monday, it is the 8th of November. Veterans Day is this Thursday, same day that we're having Vets Helping Vets. That'd be a pretty good show. I saw this article over the weekend, and it got me thinking that I wanted to talk about it, and it deals with education. Now, we all know I have an undergraduate degree in education. I taught high school history for 5 years at Anderley Academy and Avery County High School in Boone, North Carolina, and Linville, Avery County, North Carolina, that area right outside of Boone. I got out of education because I didn't like mamas and daddies. Although mamas and daddies are stepping up to the plate now more to make sure that they get to have a say in their kids' education, unless you are in Virginia and then the governor there, the Democrat candidate for governor lost because he said that don't worry about education. We'll teach the children. You just care for them at home. So it brings education is forefront into arguments about what's wrong with this country and critical race theory and rhetoric back and forth about education and COVID protocols, mask mandates. Everybody, that's what they associate with the number one issues in education. Not race, whether or not to teach race, critical race theory. The rhetoric back and forth about what's good for, whether the parents should have a say in what their kids are being taught, or if it's just the administrators that should have a say. Then there's the whole COVID pandemic with we need masks and children need to be vaccinated. All these are being touted around the country at different media outlets as the number one problems facing education. And in my opinion, they're all wrong. There's a much bigger problem facing our education system than COVID mandates, critical race theory, rhetoric back and forth by politicians about what curriculum to be and who should be in charge of coming up with what children or learn. And if you look at this story out of Kansas, you'll understand what I mean right away. Wichita State University, it has a student senate. And as is on all college campuses, when you start a new club on campus, you have to go get there's hoops you got to jump through, and then you got to get the permission of the student council senate, the student council government to recognize you as a club or organization on campus. So that's exactly what Turning Point USA did. There was a new club that wanted to be called Turning Point USA on the Wichita State campus. They went to the student board, the student political system, the Senate, student senate, and they asked for recognition. It was denied. Now, the Wichita State Student Supreme Court quickly and wisely overturned the denial, ruling it was blatant and unconstitutional viewpoint discrimination. But the reason that they had to do that is the student senate thought it was okay to deny people their constitutional rights by banning clubs due to their political beliefs. That's what this is. Turning Point USA was a conservative student club. And it was turned down by the student senate because the student senate didn't like what the club was. You don't think this is right? This is what happened? The majority of student senators that turned this down stated the reason they turned it down is they didn't agree with the organization's purpose. We don't like your conservative purpose, so we're going to deny you. That's the biggest problem, folks, is children don't understand civics and the Constitution. If they did, they would know that they couldn't do this. Civics, how things work, how the Bill of Rights work. Here's a group of students that, by the way, vote now. They're the future leaders of tomorrow that denied an organization its right to be a club on campus because they didn't agree with the viewpoint of the organization. Now, I know, Tom, you said Tom, but I mean, if the Klan wanted to start an organization, calm down. Stop being an extremist. This was an organization of conservative beliefs that it went through all the process to be properly approved on campus, and it was denied by the student senate because the vast majority of student senators didn't agree with its ideals. Can't do that, folks. Can't do that. It's a violation of rights. It's a violation of the Constitution. Violation of the Bill of Rights. But the problem in education right now isn't COVID protocols. The problem in education right now isn't critical race theory. The problem in education right now is we're not teaching children basic civics. We're not teaching children how our political system, how our system of checks and balances, how our system of rights granted under the Constitution, how they work, and how explain them to students so they don't do something like this. Civics is the problem, folks. Lack of knowledge of the freedoms of democracy. That's a much bigger problem than whether we wear a mask or take a shot. Good morning. You're on Ocala Talks with Tom Schmitz.
Good morning, Tom. This Sonny calling. You know, I say again to everybody, look at the Declaration of Independence, and you'd be amazed at how it applies to what's going on today. I still can't believe it, but it's really scary. And as far as I'm concerned, you got to read the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, and try to remember some of it. I know it can be boring, but it's our country we're talking about, our way of life, our beliefs. Thank you.
Thanks, Sonny. You know, it's to the point now where there are professors coming out saying the problem isn't what the media is trying to say. Jim Cusser, he's a former adjunct professor of American government. He said it's pretty pathetic what they don't know and too often don't care about. Talk about students. These people are going to be our voters. It's tough to be a supporter of democracy if you understand the level of ignorance about civics and, or for that matter, history that these students possess. Jim Cusser says he's had students who take home essays, they misspell American and forget that it's supposed to be capitalized. That's what we're talking about here, folks. Basic civics, basic understandings of the freedoms offered to you and how it works. That's a much bigger, and I don't know if they even if they even care how it's supposed to work. For a student government to deny and blatantly deny and say that's why we denied it, to deny a group just because they don't agree with the way the group's ideology is. Now, yes, there are groups that if you don't agree with their ideology, like pedophilia, you shouldn't have them on a campus. I understand that. It's got to be a case-by-case basis. But this group was denied just because they were conservative. And the student government said that. We're denying your application because we don't agree with you. That can't happen. And is it blatant disregard for the Constitution or ignorance for the Constitution? That's the question we have to ask ourselves. Right here in Florida. When is civics taught in Florida? Last time I checked, I could be wrong now, but last time I knew it was in high school for a semester. I remember when I was in school, you had to pass civics or you didn't get out of the 8th grade. You had to know about the Federalist Papers. You had to know about the Articles of Confederation. You had to learn the U.S. Constitution and the Bill of Rights. You had to know what the checks and balances system were. You had to know how a city council meeting worked. You had to know how laws were passed. Remember Schoolhouse Rock? I'm just a bill, only a bill, sitting here on Capitol Hill. Those things matter. And the basic college student this day doesn't have a grasp of those things. That's a hell of a lot bigger issue to me than whether you wear a mask or not. That's a hell of a lot bigger issue to me whether we teach critical race theory about systemic racism countrywide since the 1600s, if you believe that. That's a hell of a lot bigger issue to me than whether, government tries to mandate what a curriculum is and parents and the government go head to head with that. I'm glad they're doing it. But the fact that we have ignorant 19-year-olds, 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds, ignorant of basic civics is a deterioration of democracy in this country, in my opinion. Prove me wrong. Tell me why I'm wrong. 622-9622 is the number to call. Take a break. We'll come right back after this timeout. 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. This is WOCA. The Source.
Are you or your loved one being released from a hospital and wondering how you'll manage? Inform your physician that you want to go to Palm Garden of Ocala at 2700 Southwest 34th Street for your rehabilitation. Palm Garden provides pain management, post-discharge follow-up, diabetic care, psychosocial support, and so much more. Plus, they even offer outpatient rehab. This award-winning care facility has a team of licensed professionals dedicated to enhancing your independence. Call 352-854-6262 today.
Are you wasting time boxing up packages and going to the post office or the UPS store? Are you tired of not knowing what you'll pay when you get there? Just Ship offers